Boy, there's nothing like a nice warm fire on a cold winter day. Well, actually, this is not a real fire. You know, sometimes you need to leave the house or you just don't have time to make a real fire. And so I wanted something to kind of warm up the living room, but that I could turn on and off with a switch. So I decided to make this fake fire using 2 LED flame bulbs that I bought online. So let's head out to the shop and see how to make one of these. Well, the first part of the project is I needed just a flat board. So I ran that through the table saw, an old piece of 3/4 inch plywood. And then I went out in the backyard and selected a couple of pieces of wood from my firewood pile and cut one of them on the chop saw. And then using some 2-inch screws, I screwed them into the baseboard here and to each other to sort of simulate a little bit of firewood. I sprayed the bottom board black and kind of a flat black, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add just a little bit of black here on the inside. Not too much. Just to simulate a little bit of char. And we'll let that dry. Next, we need to wire up some sockets for our light bulbs. I'm going to be using 2 of these flame light bulbs that I bought on the internet. They're pretty cool, actually. And as an added bonus, the wording on the outside of the box is hilarious. It's a really funny translation from Chinese into English. So here's how we're going to handle the wiring. These plastic bases are going to screw in just behind the logs. And you need to make sure that you keep track of the polarity. So I bought an extension cord and just clipped the end off. And you can see that this is a molded plug on the end, and it's got a fat tong and a skinny tong. And that correlates to your electrical outlet. Now, I have to warn you, I'm not a certified electrician or anything. But you can see the polarity is here where the wide plug goes into the wide slot. And the wide slot is like the common side or the return side. And I know it doesn't make any sense when you're thinking about alternating current, but you'll see silver posts on the side of an outlet like this, and usually on the ground side, and then the gold or brass posts on the other side, and this is the hot side, and this is what we'll call common, and that is the large pin on your plug. And you'll notice on this plug the ribbed side of the wire, there's a smooth side and a ribbed side. The ribbed is the common side. So we're going to follow the wires all the way up, and this brass side here is the hot side, and that goes to the tab down on the inside of the socket. And then our common is the casing here where the threads are, and you'll see that's a little silver post. So the rib side of the wire goes to these common sides. And also, when you're wiring up a switch like this, you always switch on the hot side of the wire, not the common or the rib side, and that keeps the hot side of the circuit from being in your appliance wherever you're at. So now that we've maintained our polarity, let's go ahead and mount these guys to our piece of wood underneath the lumber. And now we can put the protective plastic covers on. Well, our bulbs are in place. Now for a little experimentation. I went in the office and I found this red plastic 3-ring binder, and I'm going to cut half of the cover off, and I'm going to see the best size and position of it. I want to stick it in behind some of the logs to create a little bit of red coal effect. So let me turn the lights out in the shop. I'll cut this off, I'll turn this thing around, and we can take a look at it. Well, you can see already it's looking pretty cool, but what I want to do is put a little bit of red in there and try and hide the bulbs a little more. So I'm going to take this piece of plastic and run it in like this. And I think what I may try to do is cut a little bit of a flame pattern on top of the plastic. And then I can screw this piece of plastic to the back of the logs. And at that point, I think we're done and we're ready to take it out to the fireplace. Well, I hope you found that easy enough so that you could make one of your own. I'll probably still continue to play around with the little plastic on there and get just the right shape and just the right color. But I think it works pretty good. This is during the day, and it's plenty warm and inviting, don't you think? I'll see you next time.